Hello, Allison. How are you today?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Doing just fine. Hey, so we've got an exciting announcement today that we've scheduled as we're kind of working towards our gala that we have coming up. So first of all, can you remind everybody about the gala that we have planned? And then we can talk maybe a little bit of why we're doing a gala. This is our first time hosting one. So tell us a little bit about that, Allison.
Yes, so as she said, it's our very first inaugural gala. It will be held on on Saturday, August 24th at the Marion Pavilion. And it's a masquerade theme. It's our Unmasking Homelessness Gala. We will have dinner. We're going to have appetizers, dessert, a great show, raffles, live and silent auctions. We'll be selling vacations and engraved bricks, and we just have all sorts of things going on, so it's going to be a really fun time.
Yeah, so what can people expect? So you said masquerade. In fact, I've actually got mine. Should have grabbed it earlier, but I already have mine available. Still have the tag on it. This one actually came from New Orleans. We had a staff member visit there, and I said, hey, pick me up one while you're down there. So I've got mine ready. What about you, Allison?
I have mine in my cart ready to buy. Yes, I'm really excited about the theme of it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but we are getting a lot of questions on what people should wear. It is formal. You know, if you want to wear a mask, want to wear a dress, a suit, it is technically formal, but it's also not a requirement. So just dress comfortably. If you want to wear business casual, or if you want to come in jeans and boots, that's okay. We just want to see everyone there.
Right. So at this gala, I mean, obviously this is a capital campaign for a special program that we hope to develop in the very near future and get it off the ground, but it is around an emergency shelter that we hope to open and operate within the next year or two in our region. And we've been doing a lot of talking about why addressing homelessness in our region is so important. And the biggest part is that there are not resources readily available for people to stay in an emergency shelter in our region. And we've seen more and more folks having to live out on the streets or in tents. And then we've even had reports of individuals having to stay in the forest. We just did a marketing video several weeks ago, and we kind of highlighted one of our individuals that we serve on a regular basis, and he talks about his experience of being homeless and the reasons why he became homeless, and that eventually he got connected with us and our services and is doing fantastic. He's in a temporary place to stay. He's been working. He's been saving up enough money to get a car. He's applying for jobs. He's really got his life back on track, and we're so excited to be a part of that. So we hope that being able to add this additional resource to our region, we'll be able to activate our resources more quickly and more readily. And we feel like this is definitely filling a gap that we have in our region. So, which is, again, why we're having the gala. And what do we hope to raise? What is kind of our fundraising goal for this event, Allison?
I think our goal is $100,000 for this event. We're hoping to hit that, and hopefully we can get it even higher.
Yeah, we've identified some areas in our region that we'd like to build or renovate a facility to add on the shelter in our region. And of course, those places that we've identified need a lot of help. We've found a location that we've got ceilings kind of falling in, the HVAC doesn't work. A variety of other problems, and in order to make it safe and secure, there's a lot of funds that it's going to take to be able to get this program up and going. So part of that $100,000 initial goal that we have as part of our capital campaign is that we've been reaching out to sponsors in our area, businesses, individuals, to be able to kind of sponsor this activity. So tell us a little bit about your experience there with reaching out to sponsors.
It's been fun. I've actually really enjoyed it. We've reached out to a lot of local organizations And the response has really been very overwhelming. It was more than what I would have expected. A lot of people hearing what we're doing, you know, what the goal is, who we're trying to help, and just kind of hearing those success stories and about all of the calls that we're getting. People were very interested, and they were very ready to jump in there and help us in any way that they could. I understand not everybody was able to help us through sponsorships, but so many were, and it's really been a great experience.
Yeah, so we've had some obviously cash donations, but people have also been donating auction items for us to be able to auction off at the event. Even some property that was donated to us close to the Garden of the Gods that we're going to try to auction off and be able to put those funds back into the capital campaign. So it's been great. I think exactly what you said, connecting with people, not just about being a sponsor and supporting what we're doing, but being able to have conversations about why this is such a need. And
Yes.
I think really helping people understand that it's a huge problem in our area and helping them understand the reasons why. And sometimes it's not the reasons that people assume that people are experiencing homelessness. Many of those circumstances happen to be out of the control of the individuals and families that we're working with. And so for me, it's been a great opportunity to talk about those experiences. And I know we got to do that specifically with a business in our area, and we were able to kind of share the story in a public way. And I think that was beneficial to everybody in the room, but also the listeners of that particular podcast. And so, today's discussion is really about announcing who our presenting sponsor is going to be for the gala, and really talking about what does that mean when we say presenting sponsor. Because initially, when Allison and I were figuring out what these sponsorship packets would look like and how that we would support the campaign, we were thinking about very specific things. And what we learned is that it means so much more than just putting money into the program and being able to advertise for the business and invite them to certain things. It became more actually than we would ever expect. And so that's why we're having this live broadcast today, is because we want to talk to our presenting sponsor and help everyone understand what that means and what an amazing job this particular business is doing in our region. And we hope that after today's live broadcast, that there's many other nonprofits and businesses in our area can learn from our experience that we've had with this particular sponsor and business, and in hopes that they will reach out to this business and talk about some opportunities for partnerships or business in general to help out what they're doing, not just in the mission that they're doing, but also day-to-day operations. So without further ado, we're going to invite our special guest to come on. And look at these guys. What a great group of people that we have today. We have Charlie Holland, who's the CEO of Farmer State Bank. We have Christine Hankins, who's the president of Retail Banking, and Jill Franks, who's the director of marketing. So our presenting sponsor is Farmer State Bank, and we're so excited to share this screen with you today and tell everybody about the amazing work that you guys are doing as a business in our region, but also as an amazing support to nonprofits like ourselves in our region. So Charlie, tell us a little bit about Farmer State Bank, first of all, so people, if they're unfamiliar with your bank and what you do, so people can understand it a bit more.
Well, Sherry, Allison, thank you guys for having us. Farmer State Bank is a family-owned bank, deeply rooted in the communities that we serve. We have 5 branches, and we do banking just a little bit different than everybody else does. So it's one thing to have customer service, but it's another thing to invest in the customers that you do serve and take good care of them.
Yeah, that's so true. Thank you, Charlie. And Christine, I know that we've worked together for quite some time. It's because we actually reached out to Farmer State Bank a few years ago, and we were looking to partner with another bank that would help support us and understand what our mission is and how important it is when you're managing a nonprofit, how every single dollar and penny counts and makes a difference. And you guys really came through several years ago when we reached out and transferred the majority of our banking to Farmer State Bank. But Christine, tell us a little bit about retail banking and what that means to you and your partnership.
Yes, well, we just really enjoy getting to know our customers. So, learning all about Arrowleaf and what you guys are doing in your communities that you serve has been really just touched our hearts. I'll always remember getting a tour of your new place in Vienna and hearing about all the services that you are um, providing for your communities. And it touched my heart because I could see your heart in it, and not just yours, but your employees. They, I think, would work there for free. I mean, because they love what they do and they love the people that they serve. And so that's what makes it easy with banking, is when we get to partner with people that love like we do. And so you guys are easy to love and to help. And like Charlie said, we don't just want to offer the basic checking or savings. We want to see our businesses and our customers thrive and do well, and prepare for the future, and just leave their legacy. And that's what you are doing as CEO of Arrowleaf. Like, your heart is just in it, and you're making a difference. So we want to be a part of that, because that's big.
Thank you, Christine, for saying that. Yeah, I think in a lot of nonprofit organizations, they're often full of people that are passionate and have a servant's heart. And but at the same time, yes, it does take money to be able to run the business and pay them for all the amazing work that they do. And to be able to add on these awesome services to our community. But interesting enough, I mean, I don't think that just goes for nonprofits. And I'm going to say that from experience working with you all, is that, having individuals that have servant hearts and willing to serve the community. From my experience working with you guys, I know Allison would speak the same, especially as we've been developing this gala and this fundraising event, is that's what we learned as well. And we got a better taste of that when we met with Jill. And so Jill, tell us about, I know that we met with you, we had a podcast with your amazing team. That's kind of where we started to talk about this. So tell us a little bit about that experience, and then what kind of led to having this bigger discussion that we're having today.
Absolutely. So we were so fortunate to be able to interview you both on our podcast as guests. And what we learned from you during the podcast is that with everything that's going on in the world today, so many people are finding them in these precarious financial situations where unexpected life events happen, or just a series of unfortunate decisions have led to homelessness. And it really brought some awareness to Ashley, who is my podcast co-host, and myself. And at Farmer State Bank, we just recognize that so many individuals and families are just a few steps away from facing homelessness themselves. And that's why Farmer State Bank has just really got behind this gala, and we want to support you any way we can so we can play a part in that.
Yeah, and Ashley, she's listening in, obviously, and was definitely a part of that. Hey, Ashley, thanks for joining our live broadcast today. But it was amazing being able to talk with you guys. And we knew that we were going to talk about certain topics, but I think we got really deep on the reasons why, and that being financially responsible, but also having that education is part of helping individuals that end up in these situations. And so, a lot of times we talked about examples of when somebody may lose their job and they may end up being paycheck to paycheck anyways. And, having those skills to understand how they can manage their finances is so important. But many of the individuals in our region are living paycheck to paycheck. And if something does happen, they may find themselves, like you said, in a situation where they're not able to pay their rent or their mortgage, and they end up in a situation where they don't have anywhere to go. And it wasn't necessarily a fault of their own. Again, and part of that concept of what makes someone homeless or unhoused is that there's so many circumstances like that we see in our community. And those individuals need love and support just like everybody else, and they need to be heard and understood. And that all of us need to be reaching out to them and saying, hey, how can we help? And that we hope that it won't be a permanent situation, that it'll be a hurdle that they have to overcome in their life. So many of us, I'm sure all of us, during this this live broadcast, we've had hurdles, we've had issues in our life that we've had to overcome, and they may look different from one person to the other. And I think you guys very much understand that as a bank in our region, that whether you're working with individuals or businesses, that you have to be able to listen and hear about what the barriers and the problems are to be able to help solve them. And so, Christine, that's kind of what you guys did with us, several years ago, working with your team and Tina and Matt in the Harrisburg office is, we had a particular situation where, we had a loan that had a very high interest rate, and it was, we've got to be able to get this down in order to help this program survive for many years to come. And it was a very precarious situation, lots of paperwork, lots of discussion. And you guys weren't afraid to take the case on. And you took it on with open arms. You wanted to understand fervently what the problem was and be able to find solutions. And you guys stuck in there with us. You did it. You were able to get us a better loan than what we had before, and help making sure that we would be able to serve the mission that we had for many years to come. And just so thank you guys for that to begin with. But, Allison, when we reached out to Farmers State Bank, and said, let's have a conversation about this gala that we have coming up. I mean, so again, when we first thought about what a presenting sponsor is, we thought, all right, it's a certain amount of money, and we're going to be doing these ads for these individuals as part of the package. But it became more than that. So tell us a little bit about that experience that you had with the Farmers State Bank team.
Well, it was my first time meeting the team at Farmers State Bank when we first started discussing the opportunity for sponsorship with you all. And it was just such a pleasure meeting with everybody. I mean, you could see your hearts just in that conversation, just in that initial conversation. And then when you agreed to sponsor us, that in and of itself was amazing. I mean, it was so helpful. But Farmers State Bank went above and beyond. We keep seeing it ever since we partnered with you all for this gala. You're sending volunteers to assist. You're just asking, how can we help? How can we get involved beyond giving money towards the gala? And that just shows your hearts. That shows how committed you are to the community. And it's just been an absolute pleasure working with all of you.
Yeah. So Jill, tell us a little bit about the presenting sponsor, what we're talking about here when it comes to funds, and your guys' team, and how you'll be helping, and how people will see Farmers State Bank at this gala on August the 24th.
I always like to tell this story because our owner and chairman of the board says this quote all the time. It's from Luke chapter 12. And he says, to whom much is given, much will be expected or required. And Farmers State Bank has been so blessed over the years. And so for us to be able to give back to the community in this way is just so exciting. So we've agreed to do a really large sponsorship. We have, I think, over 20 people volunteering at the event, whether it's helping with registration or selling not raffle tickets, but selling the bricks and helping with the silent auction. We're just so honored to be there and to be able to support you in this way.
Well, we certainly appreciate it.
So tickets are still on sale for the gala, and so you can visit our website, myarrowleaf.org/gala, to be able to buy tickets for the event. We'll be selling them all the way up until the night of. We're going to make sure we have extra seats and tables available for anybody that maybe was waiting last minute or decided the night before that they wanted to be there. We're going to be looking at that all up until the time. And then for questions, Allison is our main contact here at Arrowleaf, and that's her phone number and email address at the bottom of your screen, to be able to kind of get in contact and see what else that you guys can do. But Charlie, do you want to mention anything about the amount of the sponsorship that you all did?
We're not big on giving announcements on the size, but it was a very large donation, and probably the largest donation that this bank has ever made at one time, because that's how much we believe in the the event and the organization.
Got it. Well, we really appreciate that. And if anybody's interested to learn more about commercial banking, all of the friends that I have that own businesses in the region and operate other nonprofits, I'm telling you, if you're struggling with your banking process and wanting to figure out, how are we going to make this work whenever budgets come out from the state or federal government, and you're wondering how can we save more money or be able to, improve our rates, I'm telling you that Farmer State Bank is the bank to contact, to call. They have worked with us every single time that we have reached out to them and said, here's what's going on. Is there anything that you all can do? And they've taken the initiative to review our numbers, come back and provide better rates. They have been able to work with us on troubleshooting, with applications, with consultation, anything and everything. And, they're, again, I know this may be a cliche. They're not just a bank. They really aren't. I personally can attest to that, and know that if I pick up the phone and call Christine or Charlie or Jill or Tina or Matt or anybody else at Farmer State Bank, they're going to pick up the phone and call us back and be able to try to work with us on whatever questions or issues that we have. So I would encourage you guys to investigate that further if that's something that you've been struggling with. So again, thank you guys for joining us from Farmer State Bank. And Allison, thank you for all the hard work that you're doing on getting this gala going. I know it's not an easy feat, and we're so appreciative of all your hard work that you're doing with this gala as well. So thank you guys for joining us, and we hope to see many of you that are listening in and watching our live broadcast today at the gala, or reaching out to us or Farmer State Bank about how you can get involved. So we appreciate you all. See you later.
Thank you.